Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In the last video, we explored the growing debate surrounding Alberta's future. Today, we want to take a step further in comparing the two different visions that are shaping this conversation. The Alberta Prosperity Project, which argues in favor of separation from Canada, and the Forever Canadians, which argue in favor of reform within Canada. Now, this video isn't about telling you what to think. It's about clearly laying out what each side believe, where they agree, where they fundamentally differ, and what questions remained unanswered. Before diving into the two differences, it is important to recognize that both sides start from many of the same concerns. Now, both the Alberta Prosperity Project and the Forever Canadians agree on the following: that Alberta contributes significantly to the national economy, that most Albertans feel politically marginalized, that federal decision-making and legislation can feel sometimes very distant and unresponsive, that accountability and transparency in governance need improvement. Now, where they diverge is not so much on what the problems are, but on how to solve them. Now, here's a summary of the Alberta Prosperity Project's argument. They argue that Alberta's challenges are structural and unlikely to be resolved within the current federal system. From their perspective, economic autonomy is central. Alberta has historically generated higher GDP per capita and sent substantial net contributions to Ottawa. They argue that sovereignty would allow Alberta to invest those funds directly into healthcare, education, infrastructure, and innovation without federal redistribution. Now, on natural resources, the Alberta Prosperity Project emphasizes Alberta's global-scale energy reserves. They argue that full control over regulation, royalties, and export strategy would strengthen public finances while still allowing Alberta to pursue economically responsible development. Now, politically, sovereignty would enable policy making tailored to Alberta's geography, economy, and demographics, especially in healthcare delivery and energy approvals. They view federal legislation, such as the Environmental Impact Assessment frameworks, as limiting Alberta's economic potentials. Culturally, the Alberta Prosperity Project frames sovereignty as a way to preserve Alberta's distinct identity, support Indigenous partnerships more directly, and encourage greater civic participation through localized governance. Finally, the Alberta Prosperity Project argues that independence will give Alberta the ability to negotiate trade agreements, attract investments, and position itself globally as a technology, agriculture, energy leader. Now, the Forever Canadians take a fundamentally different approach in their argument that Alberta continues to remain as an integral part of Canada. They argue that Alberta's development and prosperity are best protected within a united Canada. Now, economically, they acknowledge Alberta's contributions, but emphasize the benefits of federal programs, economic stabilization during downturns, shared infrastructure, and access to national and international trade agreements negotiated by Canada as a whole. On resources, the Forever Canadians argue that provincial control already exists within Confederation and that national environmental standards help ensure market access, investor confidence, and international credibility, particularly in a world increasingly focused on climate commitments. Politically, the Forever Canadians stress the importance of national unity, shared institutions, and social cohesion. They argue that separation will deepen regional divide and create long-term economic and diplomatic risks. In their view, Canada's imperfections are real, but solvable from within. Now, at its core, this debate comes down to risks and reforms. The Alberta Prosperity Project sees sovereignty as an opportunity, more control, faster decision-making, and a chance to redesign governance from bottom top. Forever Canadians see sovereignty as a gamble. Economic uncertainty, potential trade disruptions, and the loss of national stability in exchange for outcomes that might be achievable through reforms. While one side believes that the system cannot be fixed, the other side believes that leaving the system would cost more than staying. Now, it is important to note that these are arguments made by people who deeply care about Alberta's future. Whether one believes sovereignty is the solution or that Canada remains worth fixing, the conversation deserves honesty, facts, and respect. Understanding both perspectives is the first step towards a meaningful decision about where Alberta goes next. Tell us what you think in the comments below about these areas of agreement and differences. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.